but I don't.
Okay, started.
Thank you. So first topic, I think some of the topic from last time.
Yeah, what the global design? I haven't done anything, but there was a PR and for one aspect of it, and I think you've all took a look at it and he said it looked good, but I don't know if we had someone circle back from our side to look at it or approve it. I'm trying to find Ray. Oh yeah, I think you had that thread, Andy.
Yeah,
I
so
don't need to discuss that now, but
the only thing is about the merging or the WoW delegation. Like, do we know the supposed behavior? If someone apply a traffic policy at the gateway level, and then there's another traffic policy applied at the WoW level, what is the behavior? I cannot easily tell from the PR.
So we just ask him for a test case or something.
I think, yeah, we should add a lot more test case to show the actual behavior.
Okay. I think we just should just leave a review then for him if we haven't already.
Yeah, but I think it will suggest several changes. After that, he's okay with the change in general. But yeah, just probably more tests and document the behavior better. Is there other similar feature that is in the same scenario, or is this the first one that we can attach
Thanks
to the gateway? Okay. You have a topic here. Revised version page to say released version. Gateway API. Oh, okay. This is also from last time. So yeah, we haven't come up with a formal support statement for how many N minus we are supporting. Currently, we are trying to do at least N minus one. So it's the current release version plus one older version. Related to Gateway API, in fact, there's a PR that's about to merge on the 2.1 version. We're going to fail to start if the Gateway API version is newer than what we have tested. But that's different behavior in the latest version. Latest version is forward compatible.
You said 2.1, but I think you mean 2.2, PR 13872. And this versions page talks about kgateway version support, but also gateway API version support, and that interacts with Kubernetes version support. And so it becomes a tesseract.
Yes, 2.2. Too many versions. Not on kgateway, but other version. I got confused. Yeah, thank you for correcting that.
Okay, I think in terms of the doc, then the only thing that I didn't have updated from our last conversation was the N-1 support statement, because I wasn't sure like how many versions we were supporting back. But if it's going to be N-1, then I can take that back and update the docs accordingly.
I think I would say N-1 is the minimal. But if there are more community support and require more than n-1, we can probably consider. Because I've never heard n-0, so n-1 is minimum. Because you always have to give some time for people to upgrade. So I think n-1 is minimal and reasonable until someone or a lot of community members actually require more than n-1.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We can also, I mean, we don't have to delete the old docs for the older versions, but we can just hide them from the website. Like right now, we publish all of them back to 2.0.
Yeah. New topics. Homer, you have one here. Ingress Nginx migration at KubeCon.
Stephen Jin from the Ingress to Nginx project wants to do a panel at KubeCon where people talk about migrating off of Ingress Nginx to Gateway API implementations. So I was wondering if you have any users that want to present, that would be a good thing if they're interested. So just putting it out there.
So you're talking about the Lex KubeCon.
Yeah. You just said 2026, so I don't know. I don't know when that is.
Well, I know one just finished in Europe.
Yeah. Let's see, when's the next one? November 9, Salt Lake City, Utah, in North America.
Too early for skiing.
Hmm.
And talking about release, we are planning to cut the RC1 release sometime this week, or mostly toward the end of this week, for 2.3 RC1 release. Assign host for next meeting. Do I get any volunteer for meeting next week?
It's every 2 weeks, right?
Yes, every 2 weeks. Yeah. Palm 5. The last one feels not too long ago. So it's May the 5th is the next one. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, I'm expecting a very good costume from our MC.
Okay, good. I am not the Lex MC.
I've got a great Cinco de Mayo costume, so you go ahead and put me down.
Thank you. Okay, do I spell your name right? Without an ad. Maybe there's an ad. And before I move on, anyone else want to bring up any topics? The discussion. So I don't know how Can I I want to mention one thing. Google Meet only share one tick. So I just merged this PR to restructure the dynamic module organization. The plan is to make it a lot easier to add new filters. And I also have the document on how to create a new filter. So in case we need something that's not supported by vanilla upstream Envoy, and it's sometimes it's not a complicated thing, but you need it, even as simple as just let's say have it buffer. And so one of the feature or one of the issue that I saw was that we have a setting, mass request size setting to basically limit the mass request body size to go upstream. So once you set that, we use Envoy's buffer filter to enable buffering until that limit. If it's less than that limit and it finished buffering, then it will go up to the upstream. But if it exceeded the size, we block it from going upstream. There are different problems about that. One is if you have that set in the listener, I'm not sure if you can set it per while, but setting it at the listener and then you have WebSocket requests, the request will just hang because the buffer filter does not check for if it's WebSocket or any upgrade connect requests. And the buffer filter always look for the end of stream. And for WebSocket, end of stream will never come because it upgrade to a bidirectional data stream. So there's no end of stream in the traditional sense for HTTP requests. So if you have max request size set, WebSocket will not work. But I'm thinking that instead of modifying upstream buffer filter, we can easily create a new filter here because buffer is you just return a single status to ask Envoy to buffer. But we can then on request header, we can look for the specific upgrade header that show is a WebSocket and skip the buffering. So that can be easily done here together on kgateway without having to upstream the change and then wait for the approval. And so it could be a much cleaner solution to be able to add new filter here. So the idea of reorganizing it to make it much easier to do that for simple filter. For complicated filter, maybe still best to upstream to Envoy and get all the review and design discussion. So I document all the steps to create a filter. Right now, Envoy actually support Golang, C++, and Rust as the language for dynamic module. But since we have started using Rust, I'll probably just keep using Rust instead of Go for now, unless there are huge demand for supporting Go dynamic module. But to add another filter, I have a sample filter here that you can just copy and then modify and then fill in the logic in the different hook to do the filter. Hopefully we can evolve this into a better support. Next thing, next candidate for this dynamic module will probably be first class IP filtering. The IP filtering using RBAC in Envoy is a bit limited, even though you can do IP matching and you can do match slider block, but you cannot do, maybe there's a way, but you cannot easily do allow and deny at the same time to punch a small hole from a bigger slider block. Whether you want to allow a bigger slider block and then deny just a small part of it, or you deny a big slider block and then punch a hole to allow a small part of the IPs. That's, from what I can tell, that cannot be easily done with RBAC, because the matcher is only matching for a single action, allow or deny. Cannot mix the action for the matcher. Okay, let me go back to community contribution call out. So we acted, thank you for, I cannot pronounce all the names, some of the name I don't know how to pronounce, but so this PR is merged. However, when we tested, Envoy actually rejected the config. There's an issue against that because the cell matcher at the network level is different from the RBAC at the layer 7 HTTP filter level. And the input that we set for the HTTP cell attribute is only available for HTTP filter and not for network filter. So we need to either fix that before the RC1, or we might have to rework this. And this is the area I'm actually looking into for IP filtering. So I might fix that if that's not a lot of changes. It doesn't look like it is. It's just the input for the matcher needs to be different. And I need to figure out what's the correct input for cell matcher at the network level. XDR cache and gateway pooling for long gateway name. So there's a limit, I think it's 64 characters for gateway name. Now, if it's longer than 64, we create a hash, and then we preserve some of the original name and then append a hash to make it less than 64 character long. Thank you for this community member who flows next. Call injection. I thought I saw his name here. Yeah. Would you like to speak about a little bit on the flow injection? I think you discussed the design.
Yeah, sure. So I think I presented the design like few weeks back. I think 4 weeks back. So there's a design document related to the feature. So at a very high level,
your offer would be 1.10.
Daniel, you're unmuted.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So at a very high level, what I did was like I basically extended the traffic policy, and in the traffic policy, I have added some new fields to support fault injection. And at the API layer, it supports several fields. It basically wraps the Envoy fault injection filter. So if you go to the PR, you will find some examples where like you can configure different kind of fault injection behavior. And yeah, so yeah. So if you find any issues or anything, like I would be happy to improve the implementation.
Thank you. Direct response support for body format. Don't think he's here, but this is a relatively new feature. I think this is related to some of the requirement or features that's needed for as an AI gateway to be able to extract or modify the body. We have similar support in our transformation filter using intertemplate to extract, to pass the body as JSON and being able to extract information, put it back into the body or modify the body or header. Now Envoy natively support that. I think their size limit it's relatively small. I think to preserve memory, because when you have to buffer and pass, everything will be in memory. But for small body, I think this is the fastest way to do that. DNS configuration to backend config policy. This is exposing more DNS settings for the backend policy. One of the complaints that we hear a lot about from user was that Envoy's DNS lookup, it's if you have a lot of backend cluster, Envoy's DNS lookup will kill your DNS server because by default, every 5 seconds, it will do a DNS lookup, whether you have traffic or not, it will refresh the DNS in the cluster. So we expose more settings to be able to tune those settings. So you can change instead of 5 seconds, you can increase the interval that it does the DNS refresh, plus other setting like the jitter to offset the lookup, so not all the DNS requests happen at the same time, creating a thundering herd issue for your DNS server. So all these settings are available on the backend policy. That's it for today. Any action item for next week? I mean, not next week, next meeting. I think by next meeting, we should be close to a GA release. If not, thank you very much for everyone joining the meeting.
Thanks, Andy, for hosting. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.